wasallam. Dear viewers of Salam TV, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is the 9th of January 2025. That is 9th Rajab 1445 AH. With you this evening, I'm Nagola Janatia here, your host for today's show, the Alhidaayah show on Salam TV, a show we have each and every Thursday of the week at 3 p.m., where we delve deep into the Islamic social system, exploring different aspects of society through the insights and lived experiences of Muslim professionals, all grounded in Islamic teachings. Today, we are looking at a very interesting topic, and it is so important in the lives of Muslims, especially families, and that is designing a resourceful study program for your children at home. This topic is so important and it is touching a lot of lives of families out there, because today we are in a world where we are bound into so many distractions. So, as Muslims, we have to have it in mind that looking at designing such programs doesn't only stop at responsibilities, but it goes right away to being a very strong act of worship as Muslims. With me in the studio today, I'm with a very esteemed coach, that is Hajat Zaitun Kachama, so much passionate about personal growth, and she's a life coach. Hajat Zaitun, kindly, I welcome you to this show. Kindly greet our viewers and also introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. Greetings to you, our esteemed viewers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, I'm a common face, I think, today. I'm Zaitun Kachama, a fine artist, a teacher, counselor, and life coach, a mother and wife, a member of our Alhidaayah Foundation, and I usually come here to share. We are so focused on the family setting because we believe that the family is what makes the community or the society. Thank you for following us and being in the classroom. We hope that we are able to be resourceful this afternoon.
Okay, thanks you so much, Coach Zaitun. Looking at learning, designing Islamic study programs for our children at home. Looking at this topic, all I know is that it touches lives of so many Muslims out there. To give us more light about the topic, Coach Zai, kindly tell us, throw more light about the topic so that someone out there can know what it really means to design an Islamic study program for children at home.
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillahi al-Kareem. We give praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for yet another chance at doing good and serving His community. We have been talking about the holiday and the holiday makers. Lastly, we were here, we were talking about the holiday camp and the programs that are there. I don't know if you shared the challenges that we got. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can be able to assist the parents who were given a muswiba in one of the camps. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala counsels them and helps them go through the trying moment. We want to go back because what we highlighted as we were talking about the holiday camps, especially from me, I usually remind parents that the upbringing of our children, the nurturing and modeling them into what we want is primarily our job. And we want to, I think we want to now all testify that they are back from the camp and they are back home.
Yeah, they are back.
Okay,
home.
they are back home and they are back to
and
where.
We still have some like a month.
Exactly.
A month to go. Yeah.
Yes. So it means that no matter who will come in to help and assist in raising our children, they always have to come back to us. And the sad note is the child who has not been raised well will probably die in their parents' home without them failing to turn into anything good. So when we are talking designing an Islamic program, it's probably a technical statement, because when we say designing and then program, we probably might need to be helped by the technical people who know the syllabus and maybe the religious information that we need to share with our children. But we want to give hope to parents that you too, as a family, an ordinary family, can be able to design a way of life, an Islamic way of living in your home, which can be copied by your children, which can be able to put a number of, behaviors in your children. So to share what we have seen, I know that to have an Islamic setting in your home, first and foremost, the parents must be the icon. The parents must be the idol. The parents must be the example. So we want to imagine that this routine or this program is likely to rotate on what the parents are doing. So if we have a parent, for example, who wakes up a lot earlier, maybe between 3 and 4, or maybe 4:30 or around 5 a.m. So we will imagine that we are seeing children who are going to appreciate someone waking up in the wee hours of the morning to perform tahajjud and maybe recite Quran until when Subh prayer comes. So we are looking at a dad who probably walks out of the home and goes to the masjid for Jama prayers, maybe for Subh or any other prayer, and then he comes back and then does his duha, or he sits in the corner there and he will do his adhkar and recitation, or maybe some reading. We are first and foremost thinking that this program is going to be based on the lifestyle of the parents, period. And it is the sad and beautiful note that what you are is what your children are going to become. You will not run away from that. So we want to believe that we have two parents who are probably very intentional on what their children will be, or the kind of model their children need to have, so that you have a generational, a kind of setting whereby if you have a program like the one we've mentioned, you wake up in the morning, you do your early morning prayer, you sit and wait for Subh as you're reciting your Quran, you eventually are going to be waking up your children, and then they'll be coming to join you as they grow, and eventually they'll also learn this as their lifestyle. Now that is the internal program. Then we still have, of course, external assistance that will come in, whereby we have, today we have sheikhs that come into the homes, and they have a program that has been set. Some people have 2 hours every day, some people have 3 times a week, some people have a weekend program where a sheikh is going to come in and he's going to teach our children highlighted areas that we have agreed with him or her, either in the Quran or Hadith or Sirah or Tarbiyah, and all the areas that we think our children need to get. The other program that I think can be of help is maybe the one of technology, where we are going to be using, we have applications, we have apps, we have the internet. Today we have people, recently I was at a sister's place, and she has programmed her television to be able to send in the little cartoon, the Islamic cartoons, Islamic content. Actually, I was also delighted when my nephew, he's around 7, he can Google me. The mom told him, you look for your mom on YouTube. So he knows the television, and he can be able to bring in the content that can be able to help them get this knowledge, instead of maybe spending most of the time on the other information. So that is another program that I think we can borrow, and it can help us, as we are away, or it can give our children more information, more than what we have. Of course, lastly, the hand gadgets that our children have today. Many of our children have phones, many children have tablets, people have personal computers. We need to download, because today we have a lot of information going around. So we have programs that can be downloaded, and they can teach your children anything that you would want them to learn in their religion. Someone can learn Swala someone can learn Wudu, someone can learn, hijab and all the other assets of our religion. So what we can compound, or how we can conclude this, is the fact that the parents have to have an idea. They have to have a picture of what they want as their family, the religious picture they want for their children. Because many parents are mistaken. They think that they are going to do otherwise, and their children will be taking on another lifestyle. It's not going to be very possible. It's not 100%. There are children who have chosen to be better than their parents, but most of them are struggling with that DNA. With the the environment that they grew in, and the adults that they grew looking at. So it's very important for us to be the program. We, the parents, must be the beginning of the program, and then we can be able to bring in the other ingredients.
Okay. Hajat Zaitun, from what you're saying, it's like this is like a lifestyle.
Yes, it is.
It's not some program that is maybe external from our lives, but it is within us, the lives of. So the parents are also included.
Yes.
In the program. Why is it really important for us to develop maybe this lifestyle, and how does it help our children to develop maybe in their moral and spiritual growth?
The truth and the fact is that children will be their parents. I sometimes even get scared, because I look at myself, and I act psychologically, emotionally, and the setting of your children is you. Yeah. Is the two of you.
They are mini us. Our children are mini us.
Exactly. Yeah. And the beauty, or the sad note is, children are mostly their mothers.
Yeah, by the way.
70%, most of the DNA of our children is us.
Because maybe we spend most of the time with them as compared to the fathers.
Yeah, when you go to the genetics and all that, the mother's contribution to the child is the science will testify, and the us being in our parents' wombs for 9 months, us breastfeeding on our mothers, us being with our mothers for the longest time, especially when we are growing, and all that really puts a lot of our mothers in us. Now, for the fathers who are out there who choose mothers, I usually challenge them and tell them that you wanted good children. Did you choose a good woman? Yeah. You wanted religious children. Did you choose a woman who has faith, who has deen? Because it is a goat that is going to give birth to a goat. You will not get milk out of a milk. We call it a heifer, a male cow. So the children are going to model their parents. The children are going to learn from their mothers. The children have blood running through them. That is their parents.
I even heard of a hadith saying that the best gift you can ever give to your children is choosing them a good mother. A good father. The parent of your children is supposed to be carefully chosen. A message to the single people out there.
who have not yet committed. It is very important to be very careful. The Prophet again said that we don't put our seed everywhere. You're supposed to be very careful about where you are going to bear your children from. So why is it important for us to be the model? The truth is, it is a natural way. It is the children have. Actually, they can't even run away from it. They find themselves being, their parents. Oh, you know, and it is important for us to keep improving ourselves. I keep telling her, because some of the things also as we probably didn't know, we didn't learn. But as we are growing and we are also collecting knowledge, it is important for us to grow so that we can help our children get better models for parents. They can get better role models as as us. Because you will acknowledge, Janet, that when we visit these teenagers, when we ask them who their role models are, many of them, as teenagers especially, it is no longer their parents. Yet the younger ones, the before adolescents, most of them it is their mother, it is their dad. Their it's their superman, their superwoman is their mother, is their dad. So it is a natural thing. It is it is the cognitive part of the person, learning from what they are seeing, learning from the adult who is near them, learning from that person who is taking care of them.
One writer said they're like shock absorbers. They absorb whatever is around them.
Exactly.
And they are like a blank piece of paper. And it's us, the parents,
that are going to write on paper. Exactly. So, and the other thing you will also acknowledge as teachers, you know that our children learn what they see. They are not going to learn what we keep telling them. You go for swala, you go for swala. When you're seated there on the phone, they will not go for the swala. They will not. I usually have a challenge with my little children when they are still below 2. You know, when you're still breastfeeding, sometimes you're not doing jama with the rest of the family. You're in the kitchen. So actually, mothers, we are challenged. Most of the time we might not be able to be on time.
Maybe even for when you're not supposed.
Exactly. Sometimes you're not supposed. You know, you're breastfeeding the baby and it is time for swala. So now this little one, the smallest, usually is very close to you here. So somehow you have to use a lot of enforcement to tell them that you go and join your elders, or you go and join daddy for prayer, because you are here and you're not praying yet. So I usually have that transition challenge of this little person to join the other people, even up to the my last. You could be. There are times when you're like, let them pray out. I'm going to pray later. Or you've come when you finished your prayers, and then for her, she's looking at you and you are not praying.
She's waiting to see
she wants exactly
she will do what you're doing.
What you're doing. So that is the challenge us parents have, and it is something that we have to be very, very careful about, because we are going to account for this, and we shall not run away from this. So we need to help ourselves be better every other time, so that we give these people the first of their learning.
The real picture.
Exactly.
Right away. Thanks so much for those practical insights. Dear viewers of Salam TV, we shall go into a short break and come back with a lot of insights and practical experiences about the topic.
Eno ye Salam TV. Tukwaniriza waka eri ebisanyusa. Eri Wi-Fi buli wamu. Eri speedi za internet eza waggulu. Eri obukuumi. Eri obuyambi obuli mu ddaala erisooka. Eri okwanguyirizibwa. Tukwaniriza waka eri MTN Wakanet, intaneti ensukulumu eri buli maka. Kyalira www.mtn.co.ug kasale Wakanet. Tukwaniriza waka nga tuli wamu, tewali kitulema.
Let's live it up in party and have cracking good fun. When it comes to edutainment, DSTV's number one.
Is everybody ready to go, go, go?
We've got the zaniest characters to transport you away. The party is cracking, so why not come play? You're gonna love it. We've got so many channels and a ton of new shows, like Disney and Nickelodeon, where anything goes. So live it up with DSTV. We bring the fun. You know we're number one.
Now, many of us would prefer to use the Kavera when going for shopping or buying whatever stuff you usually buy for home or for your children or for whatever. Now, I would like to advise you. I think it's much better to keep our environment safe by using paper bags or cloth bags. Those are much safer because when we use the Kavera, you throw it around, it could block our drainage, and you know in Kampala what happens when it rains. There's a lot of blockages, and usually that causes a lot of problems in terms of water all over the city. So that's Obutondi.
This message is brought to you by National Environment Management Authority, Kampala Capital City Authority, Vivo Energy, Airco, Pepsi, Stanbic Bank, and NBS TV.
Introducing the next evolution of streaming in Africa, re-engineered from the ground up. A new look, a smarter, faster interface, seamless, powerful. AfroMobile is now easily available across all your smart devices, smart TVs, smartphones, tablets, and more. From live TV and events to your favorite on-demand shows, AfroMobile delivers an ultra-smooth, uninterrupted streaming experience anytime, anywhere. Download and update your AfroMobile today. AfroMobile, authentic African stories.
Wangula school fees wa mwaka mulamba. Kyolina okola sasula fees z'omwana wo ng'okozesa mumu. Nyiga akamunyenye emu 65 kamunyenye 8 noti akadaala. Londako namba 2 school pay. Londako namba 1 okusasula fees. Teekamu enamba y'omwana wo okwosasulira fees n'omuwendo gwa ssente z'oyagala okusasula. Bw'omaliriza teekamu pin code yo. Aha! Awujja kuba oyingidde butereevu mu kalulu k'okuwangula fiizi za mwaka mulamba.
Wanywedde ku majaani ga Nisha Black Tea. Nisha Black Tea ge majaani agajjudde eddekendi lya Uganda. Ge majaani agaffe Nakabala gateereddwamu ebirungo eby'enjawulo ebiwoomesa caayi. Gano gamangu ate nga gajjira mu grams 10, 25 wamu n'ebitaano. Aba hoteeri, restaurant, gano ge majaani agayaayaanirwa kati. Genda ku dduuka lyonna oba supermarket basabe Nisha Black Tea. Nisha Black Tea ge majaani agatwalibwa ku buko. Gw'omusuubuzi kuba ku 074 368 348 oba 0759 690 163. Nisha Black Tea, the taste of Uganda. Eno ye Salam TV.
Welcome back from that short break. Once again, we are still on the Alhidaayah show, a show we have each and every Thursday of the week here on Salam TV, 3 p.m. We are talking about developing a resourceful Islamic holiday program for our children at home, in our homes, or not even in the holiday, but throughout our lives. And we are still with Hajat Zaitun Kachama, and we are sharing experiences, practical experiences, and practical tools on how to effect this. Hajat Zaitun, according to what we were talking about, it's like what I learned is that this is a life we are living. It's not something that we are importing, something new that maybe it's a curriculum or some external program, but it's a life we are living as parents, and it's a life we are modeling to our children. Now, what are some of those aspects that we can impart into this program to make it more effective and comprehensive to our children? because it's like as if we are giving them, giving them a roadmap to follow into their lives, throughout their lives.
Alhamdulillah. I think for us, our Islamic setting is a bit clear. Most of the time we are looking at the Quran. It's important for the family to know the Quran, from the biggest to the smallest. We would imagine that an ordinary Muslim family would have a family of people who can at least do tilawa, who can look at the book and be able to recite the letters that they're looking at. So it is important for you to have a program that is helping your children learn the Quran, recitation, a bit of hifidh, or even to go to having the whole Quran in the head. For those who can be able to do it, it's a beautiful thing. It's important for our children to have tafsir. I think now this is one of the gaps that we have. Many of us have gone into the children learning tilawa. Many can recite. A number of families have given that a shot, and we have a number of families that are producing hafidhats and hafids, but there is a lacking of our children appreciating the message that is in the Holy Book. It is very understanding the meaning, understanding what Allah is telling us. Exactly. Many people have memorized the Quran, but they do not know what the Quran is telling them.
Hence,
yes. So I think I'm also now also challenging myself. It's important, I think, to have a program whereby we have a part of the Quran, we read it together, or we give it as an assignment, and we go into the translation, and then we are able to pick out the meaning, and then we shall be able to pick out the lessons that we get out of that part of the Quran. I think that is very impactful. I believe it is, I don't want to put a weighing scale, but being the fact that this is a message that was sent to us for us to live upon, not to just move around with it. I think it is a very important ingredient to help our children appreciate what Allah is telling us, especially on life struggles and errands that we have to go through in this life. The other thing that I know that is important is to read about the Prophet. To read about our Prophet, his life, his background, how he came into this life, his childhood, him in business, him as a husband, him as a prophet, and all the attributes that he came with. It's very important for our children to appreciate the Prophet.
Especially him being the best example.
The best and the last. Example. So it's very important for us to have a program that helps us appreciate the life of our Prophet. And out of this, we again pick out the lifestyle and the lessons that we can be able to use in our life. And in addition is for our children to appreciate the other prophets, the life of other prophets, because they also had very beautiful learning areas. When our children appreciate for example, the prophet, the life of our Prophet Musa, how he, he was born and he was put in a basket by his mother, and then how he was picked and raised in the palace. It's a beautiful story that if your children, learned and, appreciated, it has a lot of learning areas. Prophet Yusuf, very beautiful story out there. We have Prophet Yunus, how he was, swallowed by the fish. I think these are things that, do you know that this is a program that can take us through the year and then another year? And
throughout the life.
Exactly. Yeah, so we need to have this information in our homes. Let us get the books are there. The books are online. Physical books are also available that teach us about our prophets. And when our children have this kind of stories in their heads, they are going to support them in their life. They are going to help them make maybe better decisions.
And even to get role models, because today children, their role models are Superman, Batman, Barbie, so such cartoons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the life of the prophets, from the first prophet Adam to the last prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our children need to appreciate the story of Jesus. They need to appreciate the beauty of that prophet. They need to really clearly know the distinction, the clarity of Jesus not being God and him being a prophet, a special prophet. They need to learn this at a very young age. We need them to know that there are other people among who we are going to live with who have chosen to appreciate Jesus as maybe part of their God or God. And they need to know that there is no war here. We appreciate that this is what we have chosen and this is what we are taking, so that they can be able to stand for their deen when they grow up. Children must also learn to I think if it's the parents that need to take in, we have what we call tarbiyah, where we have parenting and raising children the Islamic way. We need to know what our children do at a certain stage. We must know what parents do when they are getting their children, when pregnancy, after pregnancy, feeding, and
because we are even modeling future parents.
Exactly.
Yeah, we need to know how life goes.
As
how they will go, through their
we need, yes,
parenthood.
exactly. We need to have a style of raising children, because ours is a family that is raising Muslim children. We do not do things, accidentally or randomly. We need to be looking at our children being raised in the best way. Toddlers, we have the infants, we have the adolescents, we have the teenagers, we have the young adults, we have adults. Up to the stage of marriage, we need to be helping our children go through these stages so that they are not challenged or taken off guard by the challenges of growth.
Yeah, gradually raising our children. It's not that at one point, maybe in life, we shall sit them down and tell them a whole lot of what they're supposed to do when they get married. So it means it has to be gradual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It actually, we shall appreciate that if someone doesn't learn certain things, especially in the earlier stages, they probably are going to have struggles when they are adults. There are things that we must learn earlier on in life, and in adulthood we are just putting into practice.
Just learn by experience.
Exactly.
Not even merely telling them.
So the other part of learning, or the other part of the program, is appreciating the Arabic language, that is Luga. For the parents that have been endowed with this language, it is important for your children to learn a few or the biggest part of what you can be able to provide them. If you can get these apps that can help them learn a few of, either let them do the Yasaruna, let them do the alphabet, let them know the certain words in this language that is a base for the Islamic faith. So the program that we are going to organize should be able to be touching these areas of study. And then the other bit is to know that we are raising a whole child. We are raising a child that is we have to have a program that is holistic. Much as your children are going to learn Arabic, they should know the moral values and the cultural values of your home. Your children should know how to, for example, welcome guests. They should be able to know how to greet people. They should be able to some children don't even know how to provide information. Someone comes in the home, they don't know how to welcome them. They don't know how to answer questions. But you're not around. They don't even know how to. Some children are giving away your numbers to everybody, your phone numbers to every person who comes around. They are going to pick property from.
Letting in each and everyone.
Anybody comes in and anybody takes anything. Someone can come and request for a TV and they give it away. We need to help our children be able to add that the sixth sense to the five senses, so that we can be able to export a whole Muslim to the community. So that is the biggest challenge that we have as parents.
So looking at it, it seems like an integrated whole load of, it's integrated load of program that we are having to practice as parents and also to transfer or instill into our children to see that we get out a holistic child. Now looking at this whole integrated program, how is a parent going to balance up the formal education, now the study programs at home, the co-curricular activities, without overwhelming these children? Because some parents are like, now my children goes to a Muslim school, they study all this at school, they study Quran, they study Hadith. Now what about if I also do the same at home? Am I not overwhelming the children? So they look at it as a way maybe of torturing children, overwhelming them. How is a parent going to appreciate that I can balance up all these three aspects of life? The formal education, the study programs at home, and then the extra curriculum activities in the lives of children.
Now, for every parent out there, if at a certain point you think your child is overwhelmed,
especially waking them maybe very early in the morning,
that they've been waking up very early at school. Now it is their time to rest. Then the program is already dead, because you have said that the parent is the program. You, the mother, the father, are the program first. So if you at a certain point believe that your child will press subuhi at 8 a.m., then we are probably not talking to the right person.
Because at school he has been praying at 6.
Because we acknowledge that Islam doesn't cease, it doesn't stop, it is a continuous way of life. Actually, they are supposed to even come back and help us. Maybe for us at home probably are lazier than the school routine. So we hope that when they come back they can be able to make us better. And the information that they have from school is probably even more than what we have at home. So we are seeing us sharing the information that we have been learning from school and sharing it with those who are not going with you at school. And then the other thing is the checking the intake of the knowledge, because there is something that parents need to appreciate. Children who are going in theology schools, most of the intake of the knowledge is educational. It is not. It is not a lifestyle. Many of the things our children are learning at school, they believe that this is a school routine. Many of our parents, many of our children, first and foremost, many believe that hijab is a uniform. Until when they know that, you as the mother help them appreciate that a Muslim woman puts on hijab. By them looking at you and at how you put on the dress and when and how.
Maybe even the teachers will help us with this, because their children, you can tell something and then they're like, teachers told us home is home and school is school. Meaning, the routine at school is far much different from that at home. Even grabbing a book and reading, a child will tell you, they told us
that it's holiday. It's holiday time. We are not supposed to look.
When you tell them to do those assignments of the Quran, of the tafsir, they'll be like, this is home, this is not school. So we need to help our children appreciate that learning our deen is a life. It is a lifelong duty. We need to appreciate that the information that they've been learning from the classroom needs to be put into practice. We need to help them appreciate that there is reward after. There's reward after them putting in practice of what they've learned. And I experienced, I don't know if I shared it here, I was with some little ones. They are now in secondary school, but they were in the car, at the back of the car, and they were sharing their experience when they were in one of the prominent secular theological schools, dual curriculum primary school. And the way they were discussing the routine, it was like they were happy it was done. They were happy it's finished. Do you remember when they used to tell us stand up for Ba'adiyah? And they laughed, and they were even giving themselves high five, how they no longer are doing. The routine has come to an end.
The routine is over, so it's no longer applicable.
They are getting a break.
At home is when we help our children, get this knowledge and they put it in their life. You need to check whether what they are studying is correct. because some knowledge they have picked wrongly. Okay, they've studied some things, and being students, they probably were not even paying attention when they were learning a certain thing, and you will be shocked when your child is getting wudu wrongly.
Yeah, by the way.
Because when they were doing the practical of wudu, he probably was not even in class.
Wasn't attentive.
He was not attentive, or he didn't take it important. So at home is when we do the checks and balances to see whether our children are really learning. And then the other thing is at home is when we learn, we share knowledge. The children can stand up and teach you an ayah. They teach a hadith. We recently we were checking. Actually, my husband brought a book of Swala. And he was checking, he was telling them we are going to study Swala together. And I was amazed at how these people have certain content when it comes to certain parts of Swala. I was shocked at how they sit differently because of how their teachers taught them differently. And you now have to synchronize or neutralize the knowledge, because if your child was taught to sit in a certain way, and then for you as a parent you've chosen to sit in a certain way, how are you going to balance this? Probably your child is looking at you and is like, Daddy doesn't even know how to sit.
Yeah, by the way, it's like an evaluation where we even have to share.
Exactly.
And maybe they tell us what they know, and then we even correct them if they have not been doing it the same way. As we come to the end of the show, Hajatizai, just one word, one takeaway.
One takeaway. The program is you, the parent. The children are going to learn what you know. What they are going to learn out of your home is a routine. Help them integrate the school routine into the home routine, so that you can be able to model a family that you're going to be proud of here and in the hereafter.
And get a holistic child.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching Salam TV, the Alhidaayah show. We realized from this discussion that nurturing children are the seeds we sow into our children today, into their hearts today, are helping us raise a fruitful generation, a generation of Muslims who are going to be nurtured by the knowledge, faith, and compassion. I thank you all for watching this show, which we have each and every Thursday of the week. Thank you much, Hajat Zaitun, for always sharing effortlessly with us a lot of practical insights and practical experiences on how to raise the next generation. Thanks so much. We pray to Allah that He gives us the efforts and also blesses us and gives us more efforts to impact the future generation, to see that we raise a generation of good Muslims and also children nurtured with knowledge, faith, and compassion. Thanks so much, everyone. From me to you, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Eno ye Salam TV.